Hey y'all, how y'all doing? So I'm back with another one. I had to take a little time off to do a little bit of self-care. I'm new to self-care because I'm normally running until I crash and burn. But this time I have learned to listen to my body and to God, and I took the time on my own. So progress. Okay, so I want to talk about manifesting. Now, I know my Christian brothers and sisters out there, a lot of you, when you hear manifesting, a lot of you connect manifesting with like new age practices or new age spirituality, right? So some of you may think witchcraft, some of you may think astrology, or meditation or yoga, that kind of thing. And some of those things may be a part of manifesting. But today, we're going to tackle it from a spiritual perspective. We're going to tackle it, of course, with the definition all around, and we're going to go into a little bit of detail. So I ask that my Christian brothers and sisters, please listen to this message with an open heart and an open mind. Okay? Now, I will say this. Within the social work field or any kind of psychology or therapy, right? Yoga as well as meditation is used to help treat a lot of patients, okay? And these patients could be Christians or not. These patients could be people, or clients could be people who maybe haven't talked to God in a while and they need an introduction. And sometimes that yoga kind of helps them break a lot of barriers because it's a mind, body, and spirit experience. Yeah, that was almost a tongue twister for me. But anyway, so I think that everything has its place. And that's just my opinion. But, we all got opinions. Just like my grandma used to say, we all got opinions, just like we all got buttholes, okay? All right. So, definition first. Manifesting. Now, the definition says to make clear or evident, show plainly, to prove or to go beyond doubt or question. It also means to attempt to attain something by thinking or focusing intensely, or especially, I would say, as a spiritual practice or as a self-help practice, okay? And so since that was in the definition, I decided to break it down a little more, okay? So I want to talk about the spiritual manifestation and the mental health manifestation. Ready? All right. Spiritual manifestation is a practice that involves using thought, emotions, and actions to align with your desires and co-create your reality. Now, the mental health manifestation is a self-development practice that involves using your mind to create a desired outcome. Now, the main difference between the two is spirituality, you're a co-creator and you're using your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, okay? Whereas mental health manifestation is more about your mind, it's more about your thoughts. And what we use in that case is what we call CBT, which is cognitive behavior therapy. And what we do with that is to help you think a little more positive, because a lot of times people have these negative thoughts, this like negative record in their head that's going over and over again. And we try to help the person to kind of redirect those thoughts, or if you will, or create better thoughts. Okay. And so for the mental health perspective, it's all about your mind and how you're thinking, whereas spiritually, it's a process of thoughts, emotions, and your actions, and understanding that there is a creator, right? And then you're the co-creator. Now, here's the thing. I feel like I'm a co-creator of life. Even though I'm a therapist and of course I do CBT, at the same time I understand the co-creation part, because life be lifing and we don't have any control over how life is going to life, right? Only thing we could do is roll with it. The only thing we can control is our thoughts, our feelings, and our response to lifing, right? And so for me, since I know that, I'm not going to think that, I can just think this thing and it's just going to happen, right? That's like wishful thinking. And let me tell you, The difference between wishful thinking and manifesting is there is attention to the detail, there is effort put into it, and then there's an action. Okay. So if you're just sitting there like, oh, Lord, I really would like to be out of debt, but then you're not doing anything, but just hoping that you're out of debt or thinking that it would be nice to be out of debt, but you're not making a plan. You're not putting into any effort to even look at what your debt looks like, and you don't have any actions towards it. It's just wishful thinking. All right. So keep that in mind. Now, can you manifest negatively? Yes, you could definitely manifest negatively. And you can also manifest some negativity. So like, for instance, if you're overly sad, if you find yourself in a situation where you're worrying a whole lot, or even if you're with someone who has mental health concerns, right? You can start to have mental health concerns. All right. If you're overly worried, you can develop anxiety. Okay. So those negative thoughts or negative feelings like unforgiveness, we talked about that before, it could cause you to have an adverse reaction, which would end up being a mental health concern. Okay. So yeah, you can manifest negativity. If you are focusing, remember we talked about making our problems the giant. If you are making this problem so big, oh yeah, it's going to get bigger. It's going to cause more ruckus in your life because that's the focus. And so it's important for you to focus on something positive. Okay. Now, as you think about this negativity that you can cause yourself, I also want you to understand that it's not just mentally that this negativity can show up. It can show up in your body as well. It can show up as stomach problems, digestive issues. It can show up as headaches that you can't get rid of. And you're taking all of this medicine and you're wondering why your head still hurts. You might want to look at what's eating you, what's bothering you. What is it that you're focusing on so much that you can't get rid of the headache? It could cause high blood pressure. It could cause high blood sugar. Okay. A lot of us are walking around with these things and wondering where it came from. Look at your life. Are you stressing about something? Are you really worried? Are you causing yourself to be sick? It can cause chronic pain in your body. Okay. So I want you to think of those things. Okay. Just like you can cause negativity in your life by focusing on negative things, you could cause positive things to happen in your life. Okay. And I'm going to tell you how. But first, of course, I got to go to the Bible verse, right? Bible verse for today is Matthew 12th chapter 37th verse. And it says, "For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned." So your word can justify you or it can condemn you. Think about that for a moment. There is power in your tongue. Now, I could have used that scripture. Everybody know that. Life and death lies in the power of your tongue, right? But I chose this one because it's saying very clearly, not metaphorically, but clearly, you with your words can cause it go one way or the other. So think about your words. What are you saying to yourself? Literally, in your head, what are you saying? When you speak out, what are you saying? What are you saying about yourself? Okay? So, how can you change this negativity? How can you cause your life to have a positive spin? Here we go. Speak life. Speak over yourself. You can build a mantra, if you will. And if you don't want to call it a mantra, you can speak out of God said I am this. God said I am that. I believe that I'm that because God said I am this. You could say that. Okay? And whenever those negative thoughts come up to say something different, you could say, yep, but God said I'm this. And at some point, you won't have to repeat that because it's going to be ingrained in you. Remember, whatever is in you, all right? Whatever is in you, it had a process, right? It started from somewhere. And over time, as you continue to think that way, it started to stay. It's a seed. Okay? So you're going to have to do the same thing to change your mind. You're going to have to do the same thing to change your thoughts. Okay? Now, another thing you can do is you can set intentions. And that intentions could be, I'm going to, like I used earlier, I'm going to get out of debt. Okay? So now, you're going to get out of debt. That's a goal. Now, what's the next step? Next step is, how are you going to get out of debt? Okay? And next step after that is, how are you going to, now that you know what debt you're in and how you want to get out of debt, what's the action that you're going to take to make sure you reach this goal? And then understand that sometimes your goal has to be flexible. Sometimes your actions have to be flexible because life happens and you don't know what's going to happen in life. So you can't get stuck in the process. And a lot of people do get stuck in the process. And once they get stuck there, they don't finish. They never reach the goal. Okay? And also, you can't worry about the outcome. Yeah, of course, we all want beautiful outcome. Of course, if we're working towards a goal, we want that goal. But understand that God has us covered and He's going to make sure that we have everything we need. So maybe this goal is to have this great job that's making $500,000. Okay, you can definitely do that. But do you have the stamina to do that job? Do you need some other skills to get to that point? You know, God may have a step in between before you get to that point. That don't mean you won't get there. It just means that He has another process to get you there. Okay? So you have to be flexible. You can't be stuck on, my outcome has to be this. Okay? And you can't be stuck in the process because the process is going to be like this. It's going to be up and down because life happens. Okay? Now, I've been sick, but I'm going to try to sing this song for you. Okay? The name of the song is Encourage Yourself. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Sometimes you have to speak victory during a test. And no matter how you feel, speak the word and you will be healed. Speak over yourself. Encourage yourself in the Lord. As I minister to you, oh, I minister to myself. Life can hurt you so you feel that there's nothing left. Oh, so no matter how you feel, speak the word over your life and you will be healed. Sometimes you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I can make it. You got to remember that life and death lies in the power of your own tongue. Even if somebody tell you can't run on, you tell yourself. You got to remember, I'm more than a conqueror. Oh, greater is He that's in me. I believe everything that the Lord said about me. Everything that the enemy ever said is a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. Hey, it's a lie. Remember what God said about you. If you can't think of anything positive to say about yourself, remember what God said about you. There are many, many scriptures where God is saying how He feels, who he says we are. And if we could just take that in and we could just remind ourselves who God says we are, we're more than conquerors. We are victorious. We are His children. Yes, we're going to make mistakes. Yes, we are running through this life. No, this life is not going to be fair, and it's definitely going to come with its own set of problems. But the same God that gave you the victory is the same God that's going to walk through the valley of the shadow of death with you, okay? All right. Well, I hope this helps someone. And please remember, You're manifesting, even when you don't think you are. Think about where you are today in your life, what seeds you have planted today in your life, and then you will know. Just look at your life today, and you will know what kind of seeds you planted from yesterday. Okay? All right. Take care of yourself. I'm praying for you. Blessings.